Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns just took place in the main event of UFC 258, Usman versus Burns, and I picked Gilbert Burns to win by TKO in the first round. So close, but Usman gets it done in the third by TKO. He gets the finish. Not a lot of people saw this one coming. I know some people picked Usman by finish, but the general consensus was that he would get it done by decision. But I must say, as much as Usman gets a little bit of disrespect for having boring fights and holding people up against the cage and foot stomping, he actually has an entertaining one here, and I feel like the only reason for that is Usman has the potential of having entertaining bouts like this one, but he has to not like his chances in the grappling to do it, because he wasn't going to the ground with Gilbert Burns, and Burns was on the ground early in the fight, laying on his back, trying to kick at the legs of Usman, inviting him into his guard, trying to get the grappling exchanges going, but Usman would just kick the legs a lot on the ground while Burns is just laying there on his back, and those leg kicks were landing a lot on the ground. Then they get back up, and Burns in the first round, by the way, I was so close to my prediction. I said that Burns would wait, he would coil up, and he would counter Usman's sloppy jab with his hook and finish Usman in the first round. He just didn't get the finish afterwards, but I feel like he did kind of knock down Usman a little bit straight to his all fours, basically, to keep himself standing, and they gave Usman a knockdown for that in the second round, but they didn't give Burns a knockdown in the fight for some bizarre reason, but that's okay. I guess there's some technicality there, like the McGregor versus Khabib, not giving Khabib a knockdown there, but whatever. Usman gets the job done in an entertaining bout and gets the TKO in the third round. And it was a great performance, man. It really was. But Burns in the first round showed that he's all about it, man. He showed that he's all about that smoke. Came out there, landed good shots in the first round. Just kept outpowering Usman in the exchanges. I know Usman was landing some good shots. And other than the massive big shot from Burns, maybe Usman overall kind of edged that round on the volume that he was landing with, but Burns would just land with so much power in that first round and would kind of stumble Usman on every shot that he landed, which was kind of worrying to watch live if you're an Usman fan, because Burns was landing these massive hooks and Usman's just staggering after every one of them, but he stayed the course, he kept pumping his jab, and the jab, as I said in the second round, is going to be his victory recipe here. Kept jabbing at Burns. Eventually the two opened itself up and he catches Burns on the chin as Burns starts to slow down in the second round of a 5-round championship bout that he's trained 8 weeks for. Burns starts slowing down in the second round, and Usman catches him with that right hand, and then after that it's just Usman catches him with that right hand. Doesn't knock him down, but they give it as a knockdown, but not Burns' one. But knocks him down basically to all fours. Burns doesn't actually go down, but he stops himself from falling. So I guess in terms of boxing, that's a knockdown. But it was a good shot, and it definitely hurt Burns as well with concussive damage. And then Usman's jab just pumping from there. I mean, the jab was better this fight, and it took a while to get going. Because in the first round, the jab was getting countered by hooks from Burns. Burns was landing good leg kicks. He landed a couple of kicks to the arms. Usman landed some kicks to the arms. Usman landed a couple of good body shots in the early rounds as well. He mixed it up a little bit, but Burns was mixing it up a little bit more, landing good hooks and definitely having the power advantage early in the bout. But then in the second round, things just changed completely, and Usman was just battering Burns with like these crazy swinging hooks, like from way out with that 6-inch reach advantage. That's a very handy tool to have in bouts, that 6-inch reach advantage. My God, it was very obvious here. Burns just couldn't get on the inside too well in the second after that right hand landed, and Usman started pumping that jab, and it started finding its home in the second round. Started getting a little bit prettier looking, you know what I mean? Like in the first round it was a little bit sloppy, in the second round it started to land a little bit crisper. The jab starts popping Gilbert Burns' head back a little bit, and then in the third round, that's just all she wrote. Gilbert Burns gets knocked down by a jab after being on the stall, gets out there in the third round, lands a couple of shots, Usman lands a couple, and then Burns just gets dropped by a jab onto his back, by a jab from Usman. Pillow hands Usman, remember, before this one. Marty faked Snoozman. Foot stomping aficionado. No KO power. Just straight up jab, flattens Burns on his back, and then goes for the finish. The finish is a little bit weird. I know people are going to have different opinions on this, but the finish was okay. I think the finish was good. I know some people said early stoppage. I mean, some people were talking about late stoppage. I don't think it was a late stoppage. It's a championship bout. I think it was an unclean stoppage, and that's on Herb Dean. He should have jumped in and committed when he wanted to, because if he jumped in when he wanted to, it would have been okay. But instead he gets left with this weird limbo state where Burns is kind of still in it now, and Usman's not really landing as much good shots, and then they call off the fight. So it was a little bit of a sloppy finish in terms of a stoppage from the referee, but Usman does his job, lands the ground and pound after the jab KO finish. drops him with a jab and puts him out with some shots afterwards. But not really puts him out, but just TKOs him for the finish. But man, Burns in that first round, dangerous. Dangerous man. But then after that first round, cardio, boom, straight down the drain. And then Usman starts landing a bit more, finds his confidence with his jab, sets up the right hand, bink. Then starts landing the jab from then on. And then eventually drops him with it, with a jab. With a jab. I've changed my mind about a lot of things in this welterweight division. It was a 50-50 fight. I took the dog. I was this close to getting it done. Exactly how I said it would happen in the first minute of the fight. But whatever. We'll ignore it. All good. I'm sure you guys who picked Usman made your £10 into £12. You're very lucky for that. Good prediction there. But I'm looking for juicy underdogs when I see him. And I saw Burns did exactly that. And he showed up in the first round, man. I thought to myself in the first round, other than the leg kicks of ground shots when Burns was on his back, Usman wasn't really doing too much. He landed some good shots on the feet towards the later half of the first round. But in the early part of the round, it was Burns, man. Landed good knees, landed good hooks. Non-stop, some good leg kicks as well. I think he should have gone to the leg kicks a little bit more because it was very obvious from the beginning that Usman wanted nothing to do with the ground game of Burns, but Burns just laid on his back too much. Let his legs get kicked like 15 times in the first round while laying on his back in a championship bout, and Usman gets it done. Lands some good shots to the body in the ground and pound. Very good IQ. Stays the course. Recovers after the first round and starts putting it on Burns afterwards. But man, Burns showed in that first round, like, while they're both fresh, Burns is on that level where he can beat a lot of guys in the division and has a real good chance against anyone. But after that KO, man, that's really bad. Getting jab TKO'd like that, put down with a jab at welterweight. You know, fair enough, Tom Breeze does it to KB Bula, but in a championship fight to get put down by a jab, Usman's really been working on that with Trevor Whitman. It's very obvious. But yeah, that jab KO, man, that jab TKO, down he goes. Drops him with it. Mad. Jabs. Drops him with jabs. Does Colby take those jabs again? I don't know. I reckon he'd beat Colby. And after this fight, I said if Usman wins, he beats everyone at welterweight. I mean, he's a bit old. But how old is Usman, actually? Let me check. He's a little bit old for the welterweight division, but I think he can make a run and try and get towards that GSP level. You never know, man. You really never know, man. He's got the jab coming along well. The striking's starting to get a little bit better. Plus his physical, like, imposure in the ring is just a different level. He is massive compared to everyone, and he's got that 6-inch reach advantage, which is just crazy out of nowhere. You know what I mean? 6-inch reach advantage, massive for the division, and he apparently doesn't even cut too much weight, but he was getting rocked badly, so I think he does cut a little bit of weight, but it works for him, man. 33 years of age. He's going to be 34 in May. He called out Jorge Masvidal after the fight, which I do not agree with whatsoever. He's coming off a loss to you. 5 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, let Masvidal get a win first, and then we'll do the rematch. But he's calling out Masvidal for a fight. All good. I think he should take a little bit of time off because he did get rocked quite a bit in that first round. Like, on every single shot, he seemed to react quite badly to the shots landing. But did get smacked in that first round by Burns and almost really badly hurt in that first round. In an alternate universe, Burns is on top of him landing ground and pound there. So, good recovery from Usman. Take a little bit of time off. I'd like him to stay a little bit active because he didn't have to go 5 hard rounds. He didn't break anything that we know of yet, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be something after the fight that happens. Maybe there's some kind of injury that goes on. But, yeah, 33 years of age, turns 34 in May. I say let's get him back in there. International Fight Week versus the winner of Covington versus, like, Edwards, I think they're going to do in March. That'd be nice. That'd be a pretty good one. Maybe even Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gets a title shot. Who knows? If he wants to make a quick turnaround, maybe Thompson gets it in May or June. But I don't see Thompson beating him, man. The only person I see beating Kamaru Usman is Colby Covington right now. He's that good. Usman is that good. He's on a different level to him. Cardio-wise, he's got more than 1 round cardio above Burns. More than 1 round cardio. By far, I mean, he can push it for 5 if he wants to. I don't know if he can push that pace for 5 because that was a crazy brawl, but he pushed it against Colby for 5. But yeah, Colby's the only guy at welterweight who can even have a chance against Usman, and I think he loses. I think Usman probably beats him with body shots, being patient, landing that jab, which now has crazy power, because I was thinking in the build-up of this, like, there's no way that Usman KOs Burns. Like, especially not with a jab, but, like, there's no way Usman KOs Burns, I was thinking. I think if Usman wins, he's probably going to hold him up against the cage, stomp on his toes, knee him in the fire, land some body shots. Like, Usman was throwing punches against Colby Covington in the 4th round, where Colby Covington's jaw is detached from his face. Okay? That was my thinking going into this, so this has completely changed my opinion on everything in the welterweight division. My opinion was, Gilbert Burns completely destroys Usman on the feet and Colby Covington on the feet and everyone else at welterweight on the feet, most likely, other than maybe Masvidal, who knows. But Usman just goes out there and KOs him. Because I was watching the Usman-Covington fight and I had it 3-1 Covington going into the 5th. And then Covington was even winning the start of the 5th before he got cracked and dropped. And then Covington was just eating jabs off of Usman like they were nothing in the 4th round, and even won the 4th round, in everyone's opinion, I assume, even if you had it 2-2 going into the 5th between the pair of them. Everyone thinks Colby won the 4th round, right? I mean, like, jaw hanging off his face, Usman jabbing, smacking away with rear hands on Colby's loose jaw that's detached, and Colby's just taking them like they're nothing. But Gilbert Burns, no. With that neck, all that neck for nothing. All that neck for nothing. All of those neck workouts for absolutely nothing, Gilbert Burns. You have let me down royally, but that's okay. I did okay on this card on specifics, so I'm good. Usman gets the TKO, though, in the main event, pooping my parade, and I don't think anyone beats him at welterweight for a while. It's just, can he put in enough work to get to that GSP level next? Because I know a lot of people are going to start saying greatest of all time, greatest welterweight in the world, greatest welterweight of all time. He's the best in the world. He's going to stay in the pound-for-pound area that he's in because Stipe's above him, so that's like a bit of a step up. Because Stipe's had like 2 runs of defenses and Usman's on his first one. But good win from Usman, man. Amazing win. Amazing win. But let's just see, man. I'm willing to give him some leeway here because he hasn't lost the belt like GSP did. But GSP had so many title defenses, like 3 times, 4 times the amount of title defenses that Kamaru Usman had, including a 9-fight streak at one point, I believe it was, or maybe 7. I'm not too sure what one it was. One of those 2 numbers. So if Usman doubles his title defenses and maybe takes a middleweight belt afterwards, who knows? We could be looking at the welterweight GOAT. Someone has to do it. Someone needs to give that cloud a good old kicking from GSP because he is clouding over that welterweight division. But Usman's the guy to do it from now on, I guess. We'll see if he can in the next few years. 33 years of age. Soon to be 34. Does he have the time to double his title defenses? Because even if he doesn't break GSP's streak, I'll still give him... I'll give him a little bit off. He doesn't have to break GSP's streak. Everyone now is better than everyone before. So I feel like everyone's streak of title defenses before just needs to be minused from a little bit. So Usman needs to defend 2 less times than GSP or something like that. Just purely because of the competition level. Usman gets it done. Another tough fight. Almost gets finished in the first. Rallies and comes back later on. Lands a big right hand. And Burns just was nothing from then. No cardio in his tank after that right hand, or even before the right hand even, but the right hand sort of was the beginning of the end, and then the jabs just cruised it home for Usman like it was easy for him, just jabbing. Burns reacting badly to each one, just no cardio to even throw back in the second round of a championship bout, and Usman used that reach advantage well. That's crazy, man. 6-inch reach advantage. That is actually crazy that he has that. But Burns did well, man. Credit to Burns. 34 years of age. Going out there, almost finishing Usman in the first round, exactly as I called it. I can give him a little bit of a credit for that, you know. Smacked up Usman a bit in the first round. And I'm sure that some Usman haters got what they'd like to see with Burns just smacking him up in the first round. But, you know, Usman comes back, gets it done. Great job. Not Covington. Not Masvidal, though. No Masvidal fight. Masvidal fights... I don't even fucking care about Masvidal. He's ducking everyone. He's some bitch. I don't even fucking care about Masvidal, in all honesty. These are the real BMFs. Burns, Usman, Covington, Edwards. Whoever wins out of Covington, Edwards, the only guy I see having a chance. Wonderboy ain't going to beat him. He'll just get taken down, in my opinion. So it's Covington. Because Edwards ain't going to beat him. So it's Covington. That's all we've got. If anyone wants to see Usman lose, you've got to hope that Covington can get it done. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. However, I'm very happy that we did not see some fucking hugfest against the cage. I had enough of that in the fucking co-main event. Okay? So, good thing Usman didn't want to go for the grappling. So, good stand-up match. You got grappling, it's going to be a stand-up match with Usman. He doesn't want to grapple with you, so... stand-up it is with that reach advantage. Good stuff. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Goodbye. Usman gets the job done by 3rd round TKO with a jab. Good stuff. Goodbye.